So you'll start with your choice of colored paper. For my students, we chose blue, purple, or magenta, which I have there. Now I am going through some scraps that I picked out of the scrap box. These will come in handy later for the windows. Here are the paint colors that are suggested for this project. Mostly yellow, orange, and white on the first day. You could do red, but I didn't end up actually using the red. When you're painting with your brush, make sure to always go gently as if you're petting a cat, or imagining that the brush is a ballerina. Do not scrape it like I just did on my hand. Pressing really hard messes up the brushes. Just gentle, light strokes with the tip of the bristles. Start with a big yellow moon, the biggest circle that will be on your paper. You can add some white to this to make it brighter, especially if you're using darker blue paper. Now we're going to start by making some yellow dashes all the way around. I'm going to create 2 layers of these yellow dashes with a space in between for a different color. And then before I switch from yellow to orange, I need to rinse my paintbrush out in the water and wipe it off on the paper towel to dry it. The more water you add to your paint, the more translucent and like clear it's going to get, and we want to keep these colors very nice and vibrant. So keep your brush pretty dry, especially after dipping it in the water. Now I'm taking some orange, washing the orange off, and then taking some scoops of yellow and mixing them together to get a new color, a yellow orange, or as I like to call it, macaroni and cheese color. Here I'm making some dots, so adding some variety, not just the dashes, but also the dots, and using different colors. I'm trying to keep it a nice, even circle as I paint all the way around my nice big moon. Next, you'll want to make some smaller or maybe some medium and small dots for the stars, and then continue doing the same thing you did around your moon with dots and dashes of different colors. This helps create that glowing effect, making it look like a night sky. Next, I'm washing my brush and drying it again, taking some blue paint this time and starting to make the lines. They can be curvy, swirly. Just keep in mind the wind. Think of wind blowing. That's really what these lines are inspired to be. Of course, they could be whatever you want them to be. Putting them in between your stars and just having fun with it. You'll see I'm mixing white with some blue now to make light blue, and you can make as many different shades and tints of blue as you want here, and just kind of filling up that whole sky. Really nice, lots of different lines flowing throughout the picture. And I'm really trying to cover up the majority of my sky, so it's really interesting to look at, even all the way down to the bottom. We are going to be putting buildings down there, so some of it will get covered up, but if you have spaces between your buildings, it'll be nice to see that nice painted sky background behind them. Next, we're moving on to the buildings. Cutting strips of black paper first makes this a lot easier, but you could use a whole sheet and just cut them out. I like to start with the black strip, design the shape for the top of the building, and then cut it out while using construction paper crayons to outline the whole entire outside to give it a nice glow. And when you're ready, put it on your paper to make sure it's the right size and fit. Adjust as needed. I trimmed off the bottom of mine, so I'm re-highlighting the bottom and finding a good place where it will fit. My students are using glue sponges, which are just glue, liquid glue on a sponge in a Tupperware bucket to help it make it a little bit easier for them to just press the whole shape into the glue and attach. You can make lots of different shapes for your buildings. You could have round tops, triangle tops, rectangular. Just get creative and have fun with it. And then after that, you're going to want to start making windows and doors. You could easily just do this by using the same crayons to color on the buildings and add details. But I'm going to repetitively use this little stencil I made for myself to get the same size windows to cut out and attach on my buildings. Again, since we're working with such thick paper, liquid glue is going to be really helpful for this. Remember, dots, not lots. Arrange any of your window pieces on there and glue them on nice and neat. Make sure if you have edges sticking up on your paper, like I did right there, you add a little bit more glue to the back to get everything sitting down nice and flat, not curling off the page or falling off as you go to turn it in. And there you have it, a finished cityscape inspired by New Year's Eve. Do not forget to write your name and code on the back, and you could always continue adding more details with crayons or other paper. Have fun!